I tried to make my hair look like Leanne says, and instead I look like the Cynthia doll from the Rugrats. I'm a savage. I realize now that I look naked. Hi, my name is Rudi. Welcome to my channel and thank you so much for being here. As promised, in today's video, we are going to cover blackhead and pimple extractions without leaving a scar. And the reason I'm filming today's video is because I have been through this process so many times and have left endless amount of scars on my skin, and I'm tired of it. I'm simply
tired of it.
I have gone through the ringer in figuring out the right way to deal with extracting pimples, and I really feel like this information needs to be shared among the masses. First and foremost, let me just get this out of the way. If you're here to get your kicks by watching someone pop a pimple, honey, you're in the wrong place. It ain't happening, and I am not Dr. Pimple Popper. To be very honest, I find pimple popping disgusting, and so I will not be doing that today on my channel. We'll be walking through the steps of this routine, some of the things you need to consider before you start
popping your pimples,
and how you can take care of your skin after the fact. Because I am on a prescription strength acne medication, I don't get pimples as often as I used to, but I still get them occasionally, and this is how I deal with them. A lot of the minor scarring that I do have is from past pimples before I was on Tretinoin because I could not stop picking, and now I am regretting it. You will need a few different tools for this. They're all very inexpensive and you can find them on Amazon. I will list them all down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It helps me out so much, and let's get right into it. Okay, so let's talk about a few things that we need to preface before we dive into the routine. The first thing being, and this is for all of you pickers out there, when you see something, don't do nothing. Okay, that came out wrong. When you see something, do nothing. Trust me when I say I understand how incredibly difficult this is to do, especially if you're someone who's had a lot of acne in their lifetime and you're just fed up with it. I myself have been a picker my entire life. Last year, I decided to do an experiment where I didn't pop my pimples for like 3 weeks, and I took pictures during that time and I put them up against pictures in which I was picking pimples that were obviously not ready to go, and would you have it, the ones that I didn't pick don't look that bad. When you look at yourself in the mirror as much as someone with acne does, you are noticing your pimples and your blackheads so much more than other people, and I promise you that that is the case. The problem with constantly assessing our skin is that, like I said, we're seeing things that no one else is seeing. So when we pick at our skin, we're actually creating a bigger problem that makes it more visible to the outside world because we became obsessive with something very small. We'll go over when the right time is to pick it because don't you worry, you'll get your chance. You'll be able to pick. Just hold it off at the beginning. The next thing you need to consider is that we are not going to pop these pimples. We are not going to touch this acne with our fingers. We are actually going to use an extraction tool, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit. But using your fingers and your fingernails is one of the worst things you can do when trying to extract your pimples. One, because we have a lot of dirt and bacteria on our fingers and under our nails. But two, your fingers are kind of fat, no offense. And when you push on your pimple, you may be pushing some of that bacteria deeper into the layers of your skin, which is going to cause a larger reaction and more acne down the road. Another thing to note is that extractions need to be done on clean skin. So you want to make sure that you have either taken a shower and washed your face fully or washed your face in the sink, preferably with warm water to open up some of those pores and to soften your skin a little bit so the extraction process is a little bit easier. Let's quickly go over some of the tools that you're going to need to properly do this technique. The first thing you're going to need is isopropyl alcohol, and you probably already have this in your cleaning supplies in your house. The reason that we use isopropyl alcohol is to clean our extraction tool and sterilize it before we put it on our face. So that is the next tool that we'll be talking about. I got this on Amazon years ago, and honestly, I think they make even better versions now, so I'll link a few down below for you to choose from. Very inexpensive and much more effective than using your fingernails. We're going to use an aloe vera gel for antibacterial properties. I also got this on Amazon. This is just a straight up aloe vera gel. A very, very important thing that you will need to close out this process is a hydroquinone pimple patch. Have I been saying hydroquinone this whole time instead of hydrocolloid? Are you kidding me? I'm an idiot. So we actually talked about some patches in my last video, which was an evening skincare routine. I absolutely adore these patches. Lastly, not necessary but very helpful is a close-up mirror. Also, if you have a Q-tip lying around, that might be helpful, and we'll talk about why in just a second. Now that you've got all of the tools that you need to properly extract your pimple and you haven't picked it and it's been bothering you all day and you want to go insane, you're going to take a shower and you're gonna moisturize your face like you normally would. I would give it 10 minutes in between moisturizing to when we start this process so that you have a little bit of time for your skin to just soak up the moisturizer and sort of dry down. This is where the Q-tip comes into play. I like to just take this, put it in some water, and dab off the area where I am going to extract my pimple so that it is completely clear of moisturizer and dry, but the rest of my face isn't being bothered. I would prefer to do this instead of keeping my face totally dry, waiting, doing my extractions, and then trying to put on my moisturizer. It's just too much. So apply your moisturizer and then clean off just the area with a Q-tip and water. During this time, you're going to want your extraction tool to be soaking in isopropyl alcohol. I usually just take this end here and sit it in the cap for a couple minutes just so I know that it's sterile by the time I'm ready to put it on my face. So now that we're up close and personal, this is when you will take the tiny sided loop of your extraction tool and you would push it on your skin around the pimple just so a little bit of your skin starts to pop through the center and it's applying pressure around the extraction site but not directly on it. Also, you can see that I burnt the side of my face here with a crimper today, so if you like my Cynthia Barbie doll look from the Rugrats, let me know. Anyway, so like I said, you're gonna push around the site and not directly on it, and it should start to loosen up all of the goo. Once you've pushed in different directions, if you notice that it's not ready or there's not a whitehead, you need to stop. Put the tools down and step away. It is not worth creating a scar out of nothing. And I hope you're watching this right now as you pick it yourself. Stop. It's not worth it. Trust me, you're gonna be upset in 2 weeks when you have a giant scar in your cheek because you were picking and picking and picking. If it is ready, it's going to pop like lava out of a volcano. What you will notice with this technique is that it really didn't take much to get this pimple to pop because you have the exact pressure around the entire pimple, okay? That's not something that we can do with our fingers. We're pushing in 2 directions no matter what, but we're not able to apply even pressure around the entire circle. It's really important that you get rid of that pimple pus immediately, so you're just gonna wanna wipe it. You can use the other end of your Q-tip to get that off. So once you've wiped your face clean from the pimple and your pore is open, there's no longer anything in it, we are going to disinfect it with the aloe vera gel. Aloe vera is a natural antibacterial. When I deal with eczema or when I dealt with perioral dermatitis or the beginning of my tretinoin journey, I used aloe on my face every single night. These little circles are my best friend. This is the key ingredient on what is going to heal your skin while you sleep. Hydrocolloid patches absorb impurities and they help heal the layers of your skin. They are absolutely perfect for a pimple, and this is an ingenious idea. There's really no way to get around this one. You really just need to buy these. Once you take off the patch in the morning, you should notice an extreme reduction in the size of your pimple. First of all, if you didn't pick like I said, your pimple shouldn't have been too bad to start with, but once you've extracted it and you've really treated it properly, it should be completely flat. You may experience a little bit of redness at first because you did disrupt your skin barrier to extract some of that bacteria, but after a few days, it should heal, hopefully without any scarring. If you have sensitive skin, it's impossible for me to guarantee that you won't have a scar, but while using this technique, I have not experienced a single long-lasting scar, and I have incredibly sensitive skin. Is some of that due to me using tretinoin? Maybe, but I honestly think that this technique can be used on anyone of any skin type. Please let me know if you try this technique out and how it works for you, or if you have any tips on how you extract your acne. I'm always curious and willing to learn more from other people. If you're interested in other skincare videos, my morning or evening routine, please check out my playlist below and also subscribe. It helps me out so much. I have absolutely loved talking to you guys and I can't wait to make more content for you soon. Bye!